this episode, we're going to make a storage for our player. It's going to act like a RuneScape bank. So let's get started. I've just made this chest in Sprite, and I'll get that into the game now. Alright, we're in Game Maker, and I want to show off a bit of the node system that we made in the second episode. We're in the node parent right now, and in every script, I've divided it into what every node needs and what is unique to a node. All these variables will be unique to the node. What happens when it's interacted is also unique, and the rest will all be the same. So in our parent, I'm going to take all of the unique code and I'm going to put it inside of our rock. In our parent, we're inheriting all of this code and we're pasting our variables that are unique. I'm just going to do the same for the step event. Now to add a new node, which is our chest, I'm just going to duplicate the rock and we're just going to change some variables around. So I'm going to rename this chest, change its sprite, and in our create event, we're going to change our highlight sprite to chest highlight. Since this is a bigger sprite, we're going to increase our Y offset to -9. To change the interaction zone, I'm going to enable our debug drawing. I'm just uncommenting this part. Let's place that in the game as well. We're in the game, and as we can see, the interaction zone is too small. So let me change that quickly. I've changed around those variables, and I'm happy with this. But as you can see, it now acts like our rock. So I can click on it and even start mining it. Now this isn't what we want. Now I have to specify how I want the player to act for this type of node. I'm going to create a new enum, and that's going to be called interaction type. So right now we have two types. So the first is nothing, and the second is mine. In the future, there will be other types like woodcutting and fishing. Inside of our child nodes, I'm going to specify the interaction type here. So for our chest, it will be nothing, and in our rock, it will be mining. Now let's go to our player object, and we're going to go inside of our state machine, just to the interact part. I'm going to drag this into the full screen. Now all of this code is assuming that our interaction type is mining. So we need to check which type it is first. I've just made a switch statement for our selected node's interaction type, and that has two cases. I'm going to paste all this previous code inside of our mine section, and I want to split up this sprite. We separated all of those. Now when we mine, there's no tool. So let's draw the appropriate tool. Back in our state machine, I'm going to take our facing direction code outside of the switch statement, because that's going to be always the same. And I'm going to create a new variable for our player called toolSprite. And the default will be a blank sprite. Back inside our state machine, I'm going to paste the direction code again. And instead of sprite index, I'm going to change it to toolSprite and add pickaxe to all of these as well. In our draw event, we're going to check if the state is interacting. And if it is, we're going to draw the tool sprite. We're going to keep it as the same image index as our player animation and in the exact same place as our player. Testing that now, the pickaxe is back. So that's the mining interaction type done. Now let's move on to the nothing. So I want the animation speed to be 0 because in our interaction sprites, our third frame is just standing. I'm going to set the tool sprite to our blank sprite. And we're just going to say straight away that the selected node has been interacted with. So this doesn't have to go through a swing animation to trigger it. Now in our chest node, we need to decide what happens when the chest is interacted with. Just to test if it works, I'm going to print opened. So looking in our console in the bottom left, I'm going to click on the chest, and that works. It's a new day, and I've been thinking about how I want the storage UI to be. I'm trying to avoid any full screen interfaces, but there's a lot of information I need to display. I've decided for this video that I'm only going to code the backend. This is because I need it for the next features, and I haven't made my mind up on the interface. Alright, I've just duplicated our inventory object and renamed it to storage. The storage will function like a RuneScape bank, so each item will only take up one slot. I'm going to create an enum called items. I'm just going to include the items that we've drawn so far, so these 3. So the amount of storage slots we need will match the amount of items that we have in our enum. Inside of our rock, instead of saying item 0, we will now specify the stone item. Just for now, our chest is going to function as a way to empty our inventory. I'm going to do that in its interacted code. So we're going to loop through each inventory slot. We're going to check if that slot is not empty. And we're going to add the item amount to our global storage at the item type index. So after that, we're going to empty the slot and reduce the amount to 0. And after it's been interacted with, it's going to remove itself as the selected node. I'm also going to add the scale animation as well. Just to test if it's working, I'm going to press the space button and it will print out whatever's in the storage. Alright, let's test this. If we look at the bottom left, that's our console. I've printed out our storage. And if I mine some stone and deposit it, oh, we have an error. This is because I was adding to a struct instead of our item amount. I just need to add .item amount into this line. Let's test that again. So storage is empty. And I'm going to add it to our chest and press space again, and 3 has been added. That's all for our storage. I'm now going to take on some of your suggestions that you've put in the comments or in the Discord, which is linked in the description. The first change I made was removing the red text for a full stack. Even when I added more contrast, I think it didn't look that good, so we're just sticking with white. Next, I changed the icon from a target to a pin, and I think that fits it a lot better. And lastly, I've just added a new indicator for when you receive an item. That will be all for this episode. Thank you for the support, and thanks for watching.